Hey everybody, welcome back to Squad Pod Sports, where we bring you our thoughts on the latest games and news around the sports world. It is episode 24, so we rocking the Kobe jerseys today. Kobe?
And respect for
Exactly.
Kobe. I,
Yeah.
I was I was thinking about something today, and I'm just like, I really need to get a new one of these, just because like there's nothing really wrong with this one. It's just like old, you know what I mean? It's old and kind of like I don't know, like the numbers are kind of fading on it, and I'm just like, I,
Yeah.
I need to, yours is sharp. It's like
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
just
so
got this
nice.
one not too long ago.
I
That's
need
why
to
it
get
looks
it.
like that.
Need to get a
I would
new
like to
one.
get like a number 8, though.
Yeah.
Get his 8
Get a
jersey
number
edition.
8 white one. I used to have a number 8 white one when I was a kid, and I'll
Yeah,
never forget that jersey. But
that would be sweet.
paying respect to Kobe today because it's the 24th episode.
Absolutely. But other than that, we're just gonna cover the Super Wild Card weekend that happened. Super Wild Card weekend. The
Super wild
divisional
card.
round predictions, the GM coach openings. We also had a video that came out yet a day or two ago. Doug
Yep.
Peterson was fired. Go watch that one. We'll talk about it a little bit this episode, but we
Talk
actually
about it
have
a little bit
another
more in depth. Yeah,
video. But we got more NBA news. Talk about some games and
college football.
the national championship happened. It wasn't good for our Buckeyes there, Vern.
No, it wasn't, but it was very enjoyable in the first quarter. I was like hype. I was really happy. Second half, I was kind
Yeah,
of like, because by that point, the boy, the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver,
dude,
already had 216 yards. I'm
and
pretty
like three
sure,
touchdowns or something
by
at
the
that point.
half,
He definitely had 2 touchdowns at least at that point.
like a grown man out there,
But
Devontae
like
Smith.
Ohio State kept up with him for the first couple of touchdowns, and then like it just went downhill from there.
You could really tell how Fields was not okay. He was
Yeah,
not 100%. And, like, obviously, it's not all on him. It's not all on anybody. Alabama is a team full of grown men. You had to bring your best. You had to be your Doug Peterson, Nick Foles against Tom Brady
yeah,
to beat Alabama type of shit, you know? And it
yeah.
just was not happening as good as they
Alabama's
play.
that offense is no joke, man. They were just
Mm-mm.
doing whatever they wanted.
And they haven't even been an offensive juggernaut to win most of these championships. Most of these championships have been defensive, and now they switched it to kind of mold to what's going on nowadays, more or less. Like, and
Yeah,
it's wild seeing Saban coach this offense. It's
yeah, it
scary.
is. I mean, I would assume he's coming back next year. I know, like people were saying, like, oh, he could possibly retire or whatever, but I think he's definitely
Nah,
gonna run it back, man.
not yet. I don't think
Like
he's retiring
he
yet.
was probably already on the phones with recruits and stuff for
He's
next
got a
for
nice
next
young
year.
quarterback coming in. I forget his name, but he's got another young quarterback coming in. I know he's going to
Oh
lose a lot
wow.
of players here, but
Yeah.
he loses players all the time, and
Speaking
then
of
runs it back.
Alabama, apparently Bill O'Brien is going to be their offensive coordinator
Which
this
may
coming season.
be
So
bad, maybe good. He was
maybe
nice
good.
as an offensive coordinator when he was with New England, but not so much as a head coach in Texans
Yeah,
or
maybe that
Houston.
he's just
So
going to where he belongs.
yeah, I mean it could work out being an amazing fit for them, and then he's gonna trick them into getting another head coaching job elsewhere,
Somewhere,
either
and
in
then he's gonna just
college.
ruin him again. He's gonna trade all.
Yes,
Oh yeah, he's just gonna destroy everything. That's what he
yes, but
does.
hey, I hope it works out for him. Even though I, I forget who asked me, either you or Alex asked me like if I hate Alabama, and
I
I'm
did.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I don't hate them, like, but I obviously wanted to win that game. But it's kind of nice to see like success, you know. I'm just like
Yeah.
I root for that. I'm not like and I know a lot of people probably hate this shit, but like as a Patriots fan, I'm just like, yes, that's nice. I respect that. You know, you could just be
That's
dominant
the
for
reason I
like
asked
12
you
years.
about Alabama. Because if you were like, yeah, I hate Alabama, I'll be like, now you know what it feels like
Right.
to
But
see.
I'm
Now imagine
trying
like
to.
Alabama if they had the same like quarterback every year, and he was just like smug, and I like always winning,
He's
and
just
I
like
hate to see his face.
flipping his hair
Yeah.
back. That's why it felt so good to beat Trevor Lawrence, because it's been years of Trevor Lawrence and Clemson dominating.
Yeah.
Just
But I
so
mean,
maybe I
that was
don't
my
know.
next point. Is Ohio State's just they were lucky to be in the national championship, man. They were able to
Yeah,
beat Clemson, which
but
nobody thought they were going to be able to do.
realistically, that's our second loss in 2 years. Just saying.
Yeah.
So like, it's not like Ohio State's been chumps. It's just been we've been the 3-4 team every year. There's teams that are slightly better at the end.
Yeah.
Trying, man, trying. Got new recruits coming in next year. Justin Fields is going to be out. I think Olave is going to be out. One great wide receiver we have, but I'm not 100% on that. But we'll see what happens. I trust in the coach. He's been great taking over for Meyer Day. But we'll see. Speaking of Meyer, have there
Speaking of
been
Meyer, talk
any
about
new
college.
developments on him getting a job in Jacksonville?
Apparently, it is up to Urban Meyer at this point, from what I've been
Okay.
seeing. Apparently, he is assembling his team. That's from what the rumors are. Is he's assembling what his coaching staff would be if he got the
Right.
job. He's going to present it. But apparently, he's had multiple meetings with Khan. I think that's the owner's name of Jacksonville. But he's had multiple meetings with him, like in person. They've talked like extensively about it. So I mean, it's looking like if Urban wants it, he has it. He's just gonna he'll be able to go in there with it, pick his own team.
We'll
But I
see what
mean,
happens.
it's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know. It's very interesting
There's
what Urban's gonna do,
there's
especially if they
talks
get
of them
Trevor
trading that
Lawrence.
pick. There's talks of
Oh,
them trading the pick. And like
wow.
I'm like, wow, what, like that's just an interesting scenario that I haven't even thought
Yeah, I
about
feel
before.
like
So
Urban would want like a fresh QB, like
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence, someone like, or Justin Fields, who knows?
maybe he can get a Sam Darnold, a second overall pick,
Ooh,
and
yeah,
another first rounder for it though, or something like that.
true.
Like,
And
or
then get some
end
other
up,
pieces they need.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows
That's
what's
some
gonna
like
happen?
200 IQ type shit. That was
Yeah,
like
but
what they thought dude in the Raiders, Gruden was doing when he traded like Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper for all these
or
picks.
what they thought the Bears were doing when they traded up to get Trubisky.
Trubisky. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
All right.
apparently the
Well,
rumors about that are they're going to be running it back with Nagy and Trubisky. Like they're
I
going to.
heard Trubisky wasn't necessarily guaranteed to be
Oh, you
back, but
don't think
Nagy's more
so?
likely. More like Nagy's definitely more likely to be back than Trubisky.
Yeah.
But I could definitely see them running it back because that seems like a Bears thing to do right now. Like, come on now. You got to
Never
compete with
learn.
Aaron Rodgers in that division.
Never learn.
You need somebody better than Mitchell Trubisky. But that defense is going to keep them in games if anything.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
David Montgomery's still balling, but we'll see what happens with them next year. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's get into football here since
We
we were
had
talking a little bit
super
of
wild
football.
card weekend. 6
Mhm.
games over Saturday and Sunday. It was what a
Which
time.
was
What a
pretty
time to be
nice.
alive. We had
Yeah,
football, playoff football all day.
actually,
2 days.
not used to that. Like, I didn't realize how nice it was all season. I didn't realize how nice it was going to be that Saturday and Sunday with 3 games,
So
playoff games. I didn't realize
yeah.
how nice that was going to feel. So
So
it
I
was
hope
very
we get
nice.
this like every year. That'd be awesome now from now on.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon game. You
Yeah,
had
we talked
everything.
about that.
You had
'Cause
everything.
I watched that one as well. So we'll
Hmm
both be able to talk about that. The first game on Saturday at 1 o'clock was the Colts and the Bills game.
hmm
Pretty close. Was
This
pretty
was.
close.
Ended up coming down to the end. But the Bills got their first playoff victory in 25 years since we
25
were
years.
3 years
That
old.
is crazy.
It's just wild. But Josh Allen is the real deal. This Bills team is the real deal. I had a
Absolutely.
question for you.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was it here? At this point, are they on a crash course with Kansas City? And like, who wins that game? That's more or less what I was wondering here. They gotta play. They gotta play Baltimore, but
Hmm.
Buffalo, man, they're looking so damn good. I know
They
they
really
they
are.
didn't put up the points that they usually put up, and they got a couple of people who are questionable going into this game. But do you think they can do it? Do you think they can make it to the AFC Championship game?
I definitely think they can, man. I think it's definitely going to be the Bills and the Chiefs in the
Mm-hmm.
AFC Championship game. That's the dream matchup that I see happening.
Yeah,
Like, and to be honest, as much as we say like each week we're like Chiefs, Chiefs, Chiefs.
right.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like that's a game where the Bills could come out with a dub. Like especially like you've been seeing the Chiefs past couple games that they've played. They've won them, but they've been really close. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's who knows,
Thing
man. If
about
they catch the Chiefs
Chiefs,
slipping and like they don't let off the gas, they could pull out a dub.
they could. I just think that's the thing about them. Like they're playing Madden at this point. Like it
Yeah.
seems like the only thing that would stop the Chiefs would be them letting off the gas there. But let's move on here. We're talking about the Bills and the Colts.
Yeah.
Philip Rivers played his last game as a quarterback. Is he done?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, there was talking retirement. There was rumors of him retiring. It's
Mm-hmm.
starting to look that way, and it's starting to look like the Colts need a QB going into the offseason.
Another team
So
looking for a quarterback. Carson
another
Wentz.
team. No, Carson
I'm
Wentz is
gonna
not
just
going
keep
anywhere.
throwing that out
Carson
there every
Wentz
time
is
we talk
staying.
about the Colts.
Carson Wentz is staying. Matt Stafford, maybe.
No, he's
Jimmy
ours.
Garoppolo, maybe.
Yeah,
Sam
take Jimmy.
Darnold,
Don't need Jimmy.
maybe.
No.
Who knows? There's lots of QBs out there. I mean, but but the Colts, I know Frank Reich's getting a lot of shit right now for
Yeah,
like some of
they got
his decision making within the
nice
game.
young running back out there though with Jonathan Taylor, so they can build around that piece.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not like they have a bad backup if they want to roll with him too. Jacoby is nice. He played
Yeah,
really well last year whenever
right,
he was
right.
starting.
It was
Um,
weird seeing him come in for a couple plays like Jalen Hurts in the beginning of the
yeah,
season every once in a while. It just
yeah,
you always knew what he was going to do, so it never really worked. Let him play full quarterback. Let's see what happens, or get somebody else.
yeah. But I mean, Philip Rivers, he ended up with 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Josh Allen, he had 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. Philip Rivers, they were just put in a position at the end where they had to make the drive to win the game, and they just couldn't come up with it.
Yeah,
That Bills defense was just stopping them.
they're
Philip
nice.
Rivers also had a couple bad plays, bad throws too. But I think it's just time for Philip Rivers to hang him up, possibly. He had a
It's that
great
time.
career overall. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to, get the Super Bowl and get a ring, but
We'll
overall, he had
see
a
if he
decent
ends up
career.
being a Hall of Famer or not. That's a
Yeah,
big question.
yeah, but I mean, the Bills, they're gonna be rolling, man. They got
Hmm.
some momentum now. I know they're super hype. So
Right.
yeah, I think we both had the Bills in that game. I
Yep.
think.
Both pick
Yeah.
Buffalo.
This next game though, the Rams and the Seahawks. I think we both picked the Seahawks in this one.
Both pick Seattle, and
And
they
the
let us
Rams
down
came,
again.
yeah, they let us down again. The Rams won 30-20, and pretty much they started the backup QB because they
Yeah.
didn't want they kind of want to rest Jared Goff because of that surgery on his thumb. And
And
he
then
was
they
there. He was active as an emergency QB, and literally like the first drive, he ran a QB sneak, and he like kind of dove head first, and he got clocked,
got
and
destroyed.
he got
His neck,
destroyed.
he was laying there just like, uh,
They ended up taking him to the hospital. He's cool now,
uh,
luckily.
thank God he's okay.
Condition, yeah.
But
Uh,
Jesus,
but
for him
Jared
to
Goff had
slide a
to
little
come
weird.
in, and let me tell you, I mean, the Rams won 30-20, but Jared Goff did not look impressive to me at
No.
all.
But he's also a couple days off of surgery.
That's true.
You
That is
know,
true.
the way he was
Um,
throwing the ball, you could tell.
yeah, there's a lot of wobbly passes. And the other side, Russell Wilson, man, like that, the Seahawks are they look lost on offense. I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't help that you had Jalen Ramsey out there just shutting down Metcalf. I know he had a touchdown, but pretty much he was silent the rest of the game. Like
Yeah. He
he was
caused the
pissed
pick
off
six
on the
pretty much.
sideline.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Caused that pick six.
yeah.
Like it just it's been falling apart for Seattle for weeks now. So I don't know why we even picked Seattle in this game because
It's crazy they're
we've been
12
here
and they were
before.
12-4.
Mm.
Like that is a team that when you look at them play, like you wonder how does this team 12-4?
I
Like
have
it's
no
crazy.
idea because they started so hot. They were such a high scoring offense in the beginning of the season and
Yeah,
just
Russ was
fell
like they
off.
were talking about Russell being getting his MVP that he never had.
Now it's going to be another season where he probably doesn't even get a vote.
Yeah,
Beginning of the
and
season, we're like, oh, how does Russ never get a vote for MVP because of this?
it's just another like waste. Not like I
Yeah,
feel like
it's a
wasted is
wasted
a
season.
wasted year. Yeah, for
It's a
Russ. That's
wasted season for Russ's prime, 100%.
yeah.
Like it's got you thinking like when is Pete Carroll going to start getting criticism for this for wasting some of these like years? Like it's
Yeah.
just oh god,
It's been
I
how
obviously
long since they've been into the Super Bowl or even to like a conference championship?
about 6 or 7 years since the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
I don't see Pete Carroll ever getting fired over
Oh, I don't
that.
think
I
so
think
either, but he's
he,
not it doesn't you're right, he's not getting like really any
he's not getting the
criticism.
criticism, right?
I
But
haven't seen any at all.
we can move on. We both had
Yeah.
Seattle in that one.
This next game was pretty surprising. The Tampa Bay Gronkaneers and the
Tampa Bay
Washington.
Gronkaneers and
But
the no
man,
names.
them we thought I wasn't planning on watching it, but I turned it on. But man, the no names gave them a game. I didn't think they were going to be in it. I mean,
What's
the
his name?
Buccaneers had
Trevor
the lead pretty
Heineke.
much the whole time.
This dude
But
was on film chugging beers after a XFL game win, and then next thing you know,
yeah,
he's out here playing against Tom Brady in a playoff game. That's got to be the craziest shit ever, man.
was
It's
like
got to be
running,
crazy.
diving for touchdowns and stuff.
Just
But
doing.
yeah,
He's the fourth string quarterback.
he had 300 yards, one touchdown, and one interception. Tom had 380 yards and two touchdowns.
And
But
another playoff victory.
yeah, I mean, it was 31-23. I mean, Washington they were pretty much in it the whole game. They were they were playing catch up, but like nobody expected them to have 23 points.
Yeah.
They thought it was going to be pretty bad from the start, but
it was a respectable performance from Washington.
It really was. They went out swinging.
Gave Tom a game, and now Tom Brady matched up with Drew Brees in this next round here, but we'll get to that.
But yeah, I mean, obviously we both had Tampa Bay in that game.
Yep. And that was my 2 wins for the week. The rest of them I got wrong. I got Buffalo and Tampa Bay right. So stay tuned if I got the rest of them wrong. I was 2-4 this week. It was terrible.
The other one here, the first game on Sunday was the Ravens and the Titans, and I'm pretty sure I took the Titans in this game. And man, it was looking like the Titans were gonna do it too. But then, like the Ravens, like that long rushing like touchdown that Lamar had, I feel like that just jump started them, and from there they just kept building on that momentum, and they just didn't let up.
Derrick Henry only having 40 yards rushing on 18 carries is ridiculous. His long was 8. It looks like Lamar had 136 yards on 2 less carries than Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
almost pretty much quadrupled his yardage. And so
he had 180 yards passing, 1 interception.
That's a result I did not see coming, to be honest. But
yeah, I mean, I thought Baltimore was cooked there for a while. I think a lot of people did, but I mean,
especially in the beginning of this game, when they fell 10-0 real fast.
Exactly, and it seemed like they just found a way to adjust and like figure out the defense that the Titans were running. And I mean, they were able to stop Tennessee too. Like you said, Derrick Henry's held to 40 yards. Ryan Tannehill only had 160 yards, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. But yeah, I mean,
knuckleball game.
It was a knuckleball game. But I wasn't expecting the Ravens to come out with a dub. I mean, I picked the Titans before the game. I thought they were going to do it halfway through the game. But man, I got to give credit to them Ravens. Lamar Jackson wanted that playoff win, and he went out and got it.
For sure.
Respect the game.
Now that's another thing is like now he's got his first playoff win. Like people shut the hell up about him can't win the playoffs. Like got it. And he didn't even throw a touchdown. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is what it is. But can he get number 2?
Yeah, that's the thing. Now he's got to build off of that.
Against Buffalo.
Against Buffalo.
But this next game, Nickelodeon.
Watched on Nickelodeon. Bears and the Saints. We both did you actually I think you picked the Bears in this game, right?
I did.
Yeah, because you were like, oh, they've been playing all right. Mitch Trubisky balling.
I did, and then I even bet I had a parlay going for like $1 on this, and I had what's it called? It was like a 10-point spread. Like all they needed to do was not lose. I put them on 10.5. And all they needed to do was not lose by 10 points. I think they lost by 11. And I'm
11.
like,
Yeah.
mother,
At the very
like,
end, because literally they threw a garbage time touchdown at the
bro, it
very
was
like on
like,
the last second of the game.
yeah, yeah. And then like the thing is like, why didn't they kick the extra point? I was wondering that the entire time.
I think because
Like,
everybody left the field.
but like still, like, do they just be like, oh well, they just didn't take it. They just
Yeah,
didn't try it. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's
I
just wild to me
guess.
because if they would have took that extra point, they would have lost by 10 points and I would have won that.
Or maybe it was maybe because it went to zero. Maybe because the clock went
But
to zero
still,
during the play.
what if the game, but like still it's an extra
If it was
point.
decided on that, yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like they just didn't take it because it didn't matter. But like
Yeah.
that fucked me. Like think about that, bro. I took them on 10.5, on plus 10.5. Like all they needed to do was lose by 10 and I would have won. And they
Yeah.
lost by 11. And like they even had
Sons
an
of bitches.
opportunity.
Can't
I was
even
so
lose
irritated.
right.
But it was hard to be mad while you're watching that game on Nickelodeon. Listen to
Yeah.
them
It was
presentation.
very interesting. It was I kept switching back and forth a little bit, but I actually stayed on Nickelodeon, I think from halftime on,
I
just
watched it
because of
on Nick
how
the whole
interesting it
game.
was. I
Me
liked
and
the
Kai sat
slime
out there.
zone.
Yeah,
I liked like the first down markers, how it was like
hearing
slime moving
hearing the dude drop the F bomb on Nickelodeon, that
on
was pretty funny.
Nickelodeon.
That was pretty
Yeah,
hilarious.
the
I'm glad
SpongeBob field
Kyrie didn't
goals.
notice. The SpongeBob field goals, it was awesome. Like touche,
I like
NFL. Do
whenever
it
they
again
like
next
scored
year.
touchdowns, like they would show like a SpongeBob clip that they made or whatever, like
Yeah,
celebrating the touchdown.
I even like the sneak peek of the new SpongeBob show at the halftime. Me and Kyrie were watching that. I was like, this is awesome. But good job, NFL. I think it did great. Like, my son's already really in the NFL, but it did
Yeah,
a great job of keeping him even more engaged in it because he was
it's
like,
pretty cool to
cool,
like try
you know?
to pass it on to like a younger generation, get them involved in
Yeah.
watching it,
And
at a younger age.
not take it so serious.
Exactly, because like I remember being like really young, and my dad would be like watching football, and I would be sitting there watching it for a minute, and then get bored or whatever, and go do something else.
Yeah.
But it's something that like it makes kids like they pay attention a little bit more, seeing like SpongeBob, and then like they had like one of the kids commentating and stuff. They
Right.
had like it was pretty
They
cool,
had
man.
their own trophy, the
Yeah,
MVP, which Mitchell
that
Trubisky got
Mitchell
trolled.
Trubisky, he's a MVP. Put that on his resume.
He had to get that. Someone had to go hand him that after the game.
You
You
just
know what
said,
I mean? He's
come on.
just like
That would have been
looking
funnier
at
if
him
like they
like
hand it to him and he looked at it and they like just dumped slime on him afterwards. And then he's just sitting there just sad holding a trophy
He's
with slime on it. I'm gonna do
last game
shower
of the
now.
season. You just lost the playoffs. It wasn't even like it's a regular season game.
You got blown
Like
out
the
in the playoffs. And he's just,
like the Thanksgiving when they give you the turkey leg and all that. Like, yeah, you might have lost, but it was Thanksgiving. At least it's like a regular season game. They gave out this award, did all this shit, the Nickelodeon on a playoff game. Super wild
to
card
the
weekend.
QB of a team that lost, that got blown out.
Apparently, it was an inside job by NFL Twitter. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, it was a
they
troll job.
it was an inside job by fans who were like, it's a fan vote. Vote for Mitchell Trubisky.
That doesn't even surprise me, bro.
Ex-
Like I totally see that being organized.
by halftime, Mitchell Trubisky was already leading the vote, and they were already losing. What were they losing by? They were losing 7-3, but he was already leading the vote by like 40-some% because apparently there was already conspiracy brewing to get him the trophy no matter what happened. Like Mitchell Trubisky is MVP. But that's the story for another time, I suppose. But
Yeah.
we should
I mean, Drew
move on to
Brees
this
ended up
episode
with
here.
265 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Mitch he had 199 and 1 touchdown.
Drew
But
Brees
yeah,
celebrated his 42nd birthday.
Yeah.
Getting ready to match up with a 43-year-old quarterback.
Yeah. But I mean, the Saints,
Old heads.
they looked all right. I mean, they were able to do it against the Bears, our decent defense. But
Yeah,
we'll see what happens whenever there's going to be a team that can actually put up more than 9 points
right.
in a
Like
game.
like Tampa Bay, like Tampa Bay.
Exactly. But the next game on this list is pretty sweet. I'm glad this was the
Something.
finale of Super Wild Card Weekend.
Even though we both picked Pittsburgh, we predicted this outcome weeks ago. We just couldn't believe that the Browns would beat them. Would be the ones to do it.
Especially without their head coach, missing one of their starting linemen. They missed numerous players due to COVID.
No Odell.
Being hurt,
Odell's
no
been out for
Odell.
weeks. Like all these adversity. No practice facility. Or like
They only had
still
two practices. Two practices leading up to a playoff game.
Apparently the first team ever to score 28 points in the first quarter of a playoff game. The Cleveland Browns.
And literally, first play of the game, bad snap by Pittsburgh. They recover for a touchdown.
Peyton Manning out there. Looking like Peyton Manning. I don't even understand.
Pittsburgh gets the ball back. They throw a pick. Big Ben throws a pick. Browns score a touchdown. But like before you know it, it's already like 21 to nothing.
Ben had
then it goes like
4
28.
interceptions.
Yeah.
4 interceptions, man.
I mean, we predicted this a long time ago.
Yeah.
We all knew even when they were 11-0 that they were going to go and they were going to lose like first week of the playoffs. Like that, we knew this was going to happen. We didn't think it was going to be to the Browns.
No. But we did see this happening, and I don't feel no shame because Juju's been dancing on logos for weeks. They've been talking all this shit for weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think about what Claypool said after the game?
Yeah, but like leading up, like what you were saying, like he was dancing on logos. They got humbled for that. He stopped dancing on logos, and then he has the audacity to go out and say, "Oh, the Browns are the Browns." You know, we feel lucky we got to play them and such. And like, you had to open your mouth, and then boom, look at you. The Browns scored 48 on them, and
48 points
in a playoff game. I mean,
Ben
Pittsburgh
had to throw the ball 68 times. He almost threw 70 passes in this game.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
Outrageous.
And somehow they were able to put 37 up in the second half.
Yeah,
but
they almost came back, but they couldn't do it.
But yeah, I mean, Pittsburgh, this isn't surprising. Anybody outside of Pittsburgh that didn't know that, like, what Pittsburgh fans knew this was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they're delusional. They were delusional.
Yeah,
they
knew it was going to happen eventually.
They're like, we're going
they
Super
just
Bowl.
didn't look good at all. Like, their defense, they had their worst performance of the season. Their offense couldn't really do anything at all.
No.
It's the same old thing, and the question is Big Ben coming back, or should they move on? Even if he does come back, should they move on?
We already know Pouncey's retiring, so
Pouncey's
it's going to be a lot of question marks for them Steelers again in this offseason.
Juju's a free agent, or they can decline his options. I think it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm. So who knows what's going on? We got to get Alex on to talk about these Steelers going forward to see what he thinks.
Yeah.
We need to get a Steelers fans perspective. He's ducking us right now.
Last night he said he was going to be on, and then today he told us he doesn't want to come on, and at least this close to the game that they just lost. You know, it's a little fresh still. He had to have some time to take it all in.
We'll get him on when the Nets start doing pretty good, when Kyrie comes back. He don't want to talk about
Kyrie,
sports right now.
He literally sent a message in a group chat saying, "I'll trade you Kyrie for LeBron." So he must be already sick of Kyrie at this point.
Oh man, but that is the super wild card weekend.
Super wild card weekend.
There, we do have divisional round football.
I was happy to see football all day Saturday and Sunday.
Me too.
It was great.
It was great to see.
But we have a very exciting divisional round coming up.
Yes,
here.
we do. We have
predictions for
four games. Yeah, four huge games coming up here. Let's see here. What's the first one on
It is the
Saturday there?
Rams and the Packers at 4:30. The
Oof. All
Packers are
right, so
6.5-point favorites, and it's in Green Bay, and apparently there could be snow.
I have a stat to throw out at you before we even go over this about the
Okay,
remaining teams in the playoffs here. Um,
I might
these
have that
teams
same
have
list.
been, huh?
I said I
No,
might have.
I did this on my own. It's not like that
Oh,
crazy analytical or nothing, but I went out of my way and like kind of just counted, tallied up so I could make this list here. This is games where they score over 30 points. Every one of these teams. We have a
okay.
lot of high powered offenses in the playoffs left. All of these teams have multiple games with over 30 points, okay? The Rams, 5, okay?
Hmm.
They only have 5 games all season over 30 points. Cleveland, 8. Looks like New Orleans, 8. Baltimore, 8. Tampa Bay, 8. Buffalo, 9. Kansas City, 9. Okay?
Hmm.
Those are all games over 30 points.
How many did Green Bay have?
12.
I knew it. I see.
12.
Like I was waiting for it. I knew Green Bay was gonna have more than everybody else.
I feel like at this point, the only thing that's going to stop them is some crazy injury, to be honest, or Patrick Mahomes in a shootout. Green
Yeah.
Bay in this game all day. I just did all of that talk just to make my point. Green Bay is going to win this game. The Rams have only 5 games over 30 points. Green Bay has
Yeah.
double that +2.
I
No,
do have a
I'm
stat
taking Green Bay
here.
in this game.
The Rams have allowed 17 passing touchdowns all season. Only 17. Devontae Adams has had 18 touchdowns himself this
Just
season.
himself.
Just
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
So, and plus it's in Green Bay. It's going to be cold as hell. They're
Mhm.
possibly calling for snow. The Rams are not going to be able to play in cold, let alone snow. I
No,
mean, they're an
especially
LA
with
team.
Golf having this injury on his thumb. I'm
Exactly.
taking Green Bay all day in this
Green
game. I'm
Bay all
sorry.
day in this game. Another stat I have here, playoff wise, head coaches remaining in the AFC playoff field
Hmm.
are all disciples of Andy Reid, and including Andy Reid himself. It's Andy Reid, Andy Reid's longtime assistant John Harbaugh, longtime Andy Reid assistant Sean McDermott, and Kevin Stefanski, who got a start as an Eagles training camp intern under Andy Reid.
Right? Hey,
So
that's
that's
crazy.
that's pretty
Andy
wild as
Reid's
well.
Andy Reid's coaching tree is deep at this
And
point, man.
it keeps getting deeper. It seems.
Exactly. And it's
But yeah,
successful.
yeah, it really has. But yeah, I mean, I'm picking Green Bay all day in this game,
100%.
just like you said.
Oh,
Um,
side note, Packers signed the offensive lineman, Jared Voltier. I don't
yes,
really know who the hell he is, but apparently he's going to be the first player ever to play in the playoffs for 2 different teams in one single playoffs. I thought that was pretty cool. I just wanted to
yeah, he
mention
was on the Titans, wasn't he?
that.
Wasn't I think he was on the Titans
He was
before.
on somebody's practice squad,
Yeah,
one of these
that's
other
why he
playoff
was
teams.
able to go over to. If he was on the active roster, pretty much, he wouldn't be able to just go
Right.
over.
But I thought that was
Since he's
pretty
on the
cool.
practice squad. Yeah, that is
I
pretty
did
cool.
want to mention that.
It's unheard of. The next game here is the Ravens and the Bills. That's the Saturday night game.
This is going to
And
be a
what a
tough
game
one.
this is going to be. Because I feel like their offense, I feel like they're very similar teams in a way.
True.
Except I feel like Josh Allen just has a little bit like a better of an arm on him than Lamar does. But I feel like they're kind of built similar in a way. So I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty equal match somewhat. I think the Bills are just rolling right now though.
Buffalo's 7-1 at home as well.
Man.
It's gonna be hard to not go.
And they're going to
A
have
lot
fans
of
in the
me
stands
wants,
too.
the Bills Mafia's gonna be there. Oh man, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
going with
Bills
Buffalo.
their Bills are allowed to have like a decent amount of fans from what I've seen.
I'm going
Um
with Buffalo.
I'm
AFC
going to
East
roll with Buffalo too, to be honest.
represent,
Um and I say
represent.
that because the Ravens, I mean, you saw them in the first half against the Titans. If they do that against the Bills, I don't think they're going to be able to pull a comeback off like against the Titans, against the
No,
Bills.
'cause
I
they're
feel
gonna
like the
keep
Bills will be
rolling.
able to keep rolling with that offense that they
Exactly.
have. So I mean, it's all up to who gets the ball first. Can they score and kind of keep momentum? But
Exactly.
I just see the Bills just being able to overcome, even if they're down to the Ravens. I feel like they would
Right.
be able to stop them and then be able to come back.
That's how I
Uh,
see it playing out, man. I definitely got Buffalo in that one.
Old Buffalo, they gonna
But
make a nice playoff run, like first time in 25
hey,
years.
our boy Dylan's real happy about that, man. He's
I'm
got that
sure
big
he
Buffalo
is.
tattoo on his arm. He's
I'm
just been
sure he
probably
is.
slapping that
It's
thing
his
for
time.
weeks. He's like, yeah, it's his time. Tom Brady's finally out of his way for now. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl and there's Tom Brady to shut him down again and beat the Buffalo Bills and hold up that Lombardi trophy? That's the only way I want the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl is
As if
if
it's against the Bills.
it's against the Bills, and at the end of the day, it's just Tom Brady shitting on the Bills again. Like that's the only way I'd be cool with the Buccaneers getting the Super Bowl. Otherwise, I forget I don't really who did I pick? I think I did roll with the Bucks because of Tom Brady, but like
Yeah, I
I
think you
just
said
don't want
Bucks and
to.
Chiefs.
It's so hard. It's like half of me doesn't want to see him get another Super
Yeah,
Bowl. Half of me does want to see him get a Super Bowl. So like I'm very conflicted as far as Tampa Bay Buccaneers go
I
with
mean,
Gronk.
it's
Oh,
totally understandable.
they got me. They got my head messed up, man. But let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, the next one
Cleveland
here.
and Kansas City.
Yeah, it has the biggest spread on it. Kansas
Mhm.
City is 10.5 point favorites on this one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I'm picking the Chiefs. I mean, how can you
I'm
not
picking the
at this
Chiefs
point?
too. I think this is where Cleveland's magic runs out. They would shock the world if they won this game.
Yeah,
So
they really would.
nobody's like gonna come at you for picking Kansas City in this one.
Yeah,
I would like to see maybe next year this is a better game if they have a fully healthy Odell. But right now, Kansas City's got too many weapons. Cleveland's defense is nice, but they just let the non-existent pretty much offense of Pittsburgh, even though they come out in spurts. I know Ben threw 500 yards, but he also threw 70 passes, so don't
yeah,
forget that. But like they just let that offense come back, put 37 points, like you're saying, up in the second half. What are they going to
yeah,
let the Chiefs do in 60 minutes of football? So,
yeah. With Tyreek Hill and Kelsey
mhm.
and
Travis
all.
Kelsey, who makes a case for MVP himself. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Oh, 105 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 11 touchdowns for that man. That shit's
yeah,
crazy.
that is.
But picking Kansas City in that one.
Yeah, definitely. Um, So the next one's going to be pretty much the game of the weekend. Other than I see this one and the Ravens Bills one's going to be really good as well.
Right.
Um,
This is
but
the
the
old man
Buccaneers
bowl.
and the Saints, yeah,
I
old
think this
man
is the
bowl.
oldest matchup between NFL quarterbacks in the playoffs combined
Yeah,
age.
and New Orleans, believe it or not, are 3-point favorites on this one.
Probably because it's in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome there.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
Uh, I'm rolling with Tampa Bay because I'm not. I've lived 20 years of don't doubt Tom Brady in the playoffs,
Hmm.
so I'm rolling with it. Even though I think Green Bay, like we'll see, this will be even more interesting come next squad pod if Green Bay and the Bucks win because I have no idea who I'm picking in that game. That's going to be a tough one, but I'm
Yeah,
picking the Bucks in this one. We'll see if
I
New
am
Orleans
too, to be
can
honest.
can put up enough points. I know they do great. They dip it off. I know I was talking shit in the group chat the other day about Drew Brees throws the same pass. He throws a pass to his playmakers and they make plays and
Yeah,
it works. They keep it up and he makes plays
there
down the
was
field.
a couple times during the game against the Bears where they would catch it and they would break like two tackles like immediately and get like 5 more yards, 10 more yards
Yeah,
somehow.
and enough of that over time. That's gonna just keep getting you in the red zone where you can put in work. Give it to Alvin Kamara. Do what you need to
Yeah.
do. You know. But
Yeah, but I mean, once again, I just see the Saints just like blowing it in the
yeah,
playoffs like they always do.
the same
And this is
Saints we
like,
always see in the
and then
playoffs.
Drew Brees is going to retire
Yeah,
and then they're
and
going to have to
become a
figure out
commentator.
another team where it's like, are you gonna roll with Taysom Hill? Are you gonna roll with Jameis Winston, or are
Jameis,
you gonna find somebody else? Who knows? Another
because
QB.
you got a pretty far down draft pick, so who knows what happens there.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, that's super divisional round weekend. I don't think they'll be calling it that, but
Divisional round week.
that's the picks.
Yeah.
That's the picks.
Before we roll into like the NBA a little bit, the head coach openings for the NFL that I have here.
Hmm.
The Chargers, the Lions, the Texans, the Falcons, the Jets, the Jaguars, and the Eagles now. And the GM openings are the Panthers, the Lions, the Falcons, the Broncos, the Jaguars, and the Washington No Names.
Damn. What about the
So
Texans? Did you say them? Oh no,
not for
they're
not for
my
the GM. Yeah, they got
the
the dude from
Texans hired our bull. I
from
forgot
the
about that already.
Patriots.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was done pretty early.
That was last
Um,
week.
yeah. Some other news: the Raiders hired former Chargers
Char-
Chargers defensive coordinator Gus Bradley as their new defensive coordinator.
Okay.
And there was a big thing about that when the Raiders announced that they put a picture of somebody else up, like
Oh
they
my god.
like they had a pic, like they had posted the picture of a wrong person entirely. So that was a little embarrassing.
I did see one news, and I think you saw this as well. Chuck Pagano is going to be retiring.
Chuck Pagano's retiring. Yep.
Yep.
He was
Yep.
defensive coordinator for the Bears.
Yep.
And some of the other news within the league I saw here, I don't know if I just forgot to mention this last week, but Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, announced that Julio Jones and Matt Ryan both could be traded this offseason. They're pretty much looking at a rebuild.
Very interesting. Hmm.
Very interesting. Both
Where
of
do
them.
they end up? That is wild to me because I have no idea who's going to take Matt Ryan's salary or Julio's for that matter. Like,
Exactly.
I just, where do they end up? I hope they don't end up on these like really shit teams where they're just gonna be wasted. I really hope
Yeah.
they don't. Somebody needs to take them, even if it's like a Seattle or something. Like somebody take them. I don't know who's
Yeah.
going to. I'm just throwing that name out there.
Patriots gonna scoop Julio Jones somehow.
I don't think Bill would pay that, unfortunately. Especially if we have to get a free agent quarterback. If we don't
Yeah.
draft one, if we get a free agent quarterback, I don't think we would end up with him and
Yeah.
Julio, as much as I would love that. But hey, that's the NFL for this week.
Yeah. We'll kind of move on to the NBA here. There's been some news.
Mm-hmm.
The NBPA and the NBA are working through a minimum 2-week window of protocol tightening for COVID-19.
Yep.
No hugging or interacting with opposing team on court before the game or after the game. Minimize social interactions during games, such as tapping hands during free throws and other things. Apparently, players have to wear their masks at all times when they're on the bench. There's pretty much like the Sixers, I know. A couple other teams have really had some positive tests within the league
Yeah,
that they're worried about.
it's been hindering games at this point, and it's like a
Yeah.
whole 180 from what you saw in the bubble, and it's because they were in a bubble. They had a
Yeah.
completely controlled environment there. So
I
this is what
know
you see.
both Bulls games, they were supposed to play last night and they were supposed to play one tonight against the Celtics. Both of those were postponed
Yeah,
already. But yeah, it's the NBA. It was going great for a while, especially it was
yeah.
doing well in the bubble. They were trying to work it out, going between stadiums, and it happens. They ran into some issues, so I mean they're trying to get that figured out.
I would love to see them complete a full season with as little problems as possible, especially with them setting the standard, them and the NHL setting the standard last year for how to get through it in the first place.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we can talk about the NBA a little bit here. What's going on around the league? The Golden State Warriors, man, it seems like they kind of turned their team around. I mean, Steph Curry's been balling.
Steph's
The
trying
other
to turn it
night,
around here.
the other night they were down. It was to the Clippers. It was 80. The Clippers were winning 85-66, and the Warriors ended up coming back and winning the game, 92-89. Like that is wild. And Steph Curry balled out.
Right now they're sitting there at 6th in the playoffs. I know it's 10 games into the season, but like I know we'll keep reiterating this. There's less games this year than usual. There's only 72, so this is already a seventh, if you would say, of the season is gone, just like that.
Yeah,
Like
just like that.
every game counts. Got my Lakers up there, 8-3 right now, number one in the West.
I
I'm
see.
so.
Oh, it says
It looks like
9-3. It's updated now. They're 9-3
9-3
now.
because they did play tonight.
Yeah.
But 9-3. Let's
Yeah.
go.
The
Can they
Utah's
keep it
next. They're
up?
7-4. Clippers are also 7-4.
Yep. And
Phoenix is
then
7-4.
Phoenix, who
Yep.
I don't remember if I said it on the record here, but I had high hopes for in the beginning of the season based off of what they did in the bubble last year, just getting
Yeah.
better. They got Chris
I mean,
Paul.
and they started off
Like,
hot. I think they went like 5-0. I think 4-0 to start the season. Yeah, I mean they were hot in the bubble without Chris Paul, and
right.
they added Chris Paul.
They
So I
went
mean that's
8-0 in the bubble.
better. Yeah, exactly.
But
Um,
I like seeing Phoenix at there at 4, Trailblazers at 5, Golden State at 6. Luka and Mavs have been dealing with some out
some
there,
injuries.
but
Apparently,
together.
the Unicorn is supposed to start again. He's back. He's practicing. He was supposed to make his appearance the other night, but the game was postponed. That was one of the games that was postponed.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he's supposed to be coming back, so that should help him out a little bit. And then you got San Antonio at the 8 seed.
No, oh yeah, yours must be updated definitely because I got Oklahoma in the 8th seed. I don't know what list I got here.
Yeah, I'm just on the ESPN app. But in the Eastern Conference, you got Boston. They took the 1 seed from Philly at this point. Philly, they've been hit hard with the COVID protocols. A lot of their fans are bitching right now because their games aren't getting postponed, and they don't know why. But I mean, they ended up winning tonight. With
like 7 players.
Yeah, but I mean, then you got Milwaukee, 7-4.
Milwaukee, who came back. I mean, we keep saying it's really early, but I remember last week we were like, "Oh, what's going on with them?" Like, look at them; they're in 3rd already. The time keep going by; they'll be in the 1st seed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even though you're saying that the season is short, it's a little early at this point to really see who teams are. You know.
Right.
And then we got the Pacers, the Magic, who are kind of sliding now because they've had some injuries. Fultz is out for the season now. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not doing well. The Hornets.
Charlotte on a 4-game winning streak.
Yeah. I mean, Charlotte, it looks like LaMelo, he's doing well in the NBA. He's balling.
Those Jordan patches on all the jerseys, and now Charlotte's suddenly resurgent. Michael Jordan's smiling at every game in the booth, like he's enjoying life. Right? I might have built a team.
I might have built a team. I might have done it finally.
But
you got the Nets at the 7 seed or 6 and 6.
Turmoil like that's going on with these motherfuckers. Like I don't understand.
I wish Alex would have agreed to be on to talk about this.
I know, because I need some clarity here. I feel like some answers. Irving is going to be. They said already he's going to be out this whole week, so it's now 4+ games that he's missed. For these personal reasons, and now he's being apparently videoed out without a mask, like breaking all these protocols in the league while they have a COVID problem in the league, and I don't know what's going on.
While he's saying that he's not playing due to personal reasons, he's out at parties without not wearing a mask.
We need
Alex. It's a bad look. It's a bad look for Kyrie Irving.
I think he's a great player. Like I've always liked him. I'm just like, man, what is going on? If you're gonna retire, just retire. Yeah. If you don't want to play basketball,
I mean, what was the point of you and KD agreeing to go to the Nets? And now KD is fully healthy, and you're both not on the court. You know,
I mean, who knows though? It could be something huge like that we don't know about, and like just let the man do his thing. But I know he's also just missing game after game after game with no real explanation here.
Exactly.
Like, he needs to give some type of explanation to why. You know, not hurt obviously. So, but. To round out that 8th seed, you got Atlanta sitting there right now, 5-5.
Yeah, and I mean it's surprising. I mean Miami's not in the top eight. They're 4-5
No,
right now. I mean there's it's and I mean
look at
Toronto.
Toronto.
I was gonna say they're 2-8. Toronto looks terrible right
God,
now. They were
yeah,
looking great last year, and now they just look plain terrible.
yeah. So we'll see what happens with them going forward as well.
Yeah,
If they can have the bounce back that they need.
Bulls are 4-7. Ugh,
Mm.
ugh. But
But
yeah,
hey,
man. I mean the NBA is in full effect. Uh, I
let me
wish the
see.
Bulls were a little better. But I mean,
Yeah,
there's definitely. I mean, we're a little early into the season still. I mean, it's a much tighter race in the Western Conference as of right now than it is in the
yeah.
Eastern.
It's
Eastern's
just ramping
very
up right
split
now,
up.
though.
Yeah, exactly. Teams are starting to figure out who they are.
Mhm.
I don't really have any other news really out of the NBA other than like they're strict tightening the COVID protocols and everything.
Right, as far as
Uh,
the 2 week like hotel for guests and stuff like that, and all or
yeah.
hotel stays for guests and on roads. I don't know, but I know they're trying to lock down on any type of cases they have because it's kind of running rampant right now.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, I do have. I was gonna wear this tonight, but it's Kobe. I had to wear this shit. But Flyers out of they coming back, baby.
They
There we go. Flyers.
coming back, baby.
They coming back, baby. First game is Wednesday. By the time this is up, it's already over. But man,
Damn.
tomorrow, as we're filming this, is the first game of the hockey season, of kick off the NHL season. I am hyped. I can't wait because the Flyers play the Pittsburgh Penguins, the most hated
Right.
rivals. So
Hmm.
hopefully we could take them down, get a dub on opening night. That would be amazing. But
In-state
yeah,
game to kick off the season.
yeah, what a game to kick off the season, man. I am super
Hey,
hype. I've been following everything hockey, trying to get my pack all this hockey knowledge in my brain to talk about during the season,
get
cuz
ready.
yeah, cuz I got to pay attention to it a little bit more now that we're going to be talking about it on the
Right, right.
podcast and
You
stuff.
gotta be supplying our hockey news, man. I
Exactly.
need.
I gotta get learned on some hockey stuff. I gotta get. I've been diving a little bit more into it each year. So this year I'm gonna be really diving head first, try to pay attention to like other teams, see what's going on with other teams, because
Right.
kind of figuring out hockey a little bit. I was just focusing on like the Flyers for a minute, trying to figure out the game, figure out who players are. So this year I'm gonna focus on branching out, looking at other teams,
Right.
seeing what makes them tick and stuff, learning who the
Gotcha.
players are a lot more. So yeah, I mean that's something to look forward to whenever we'll be talking about that because the NFL season will be over here in the next 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Just be basketball and hockey.
Basketball and hockey, and then who knows?
Got
But yeah,
March
man,
Madness coming up eventually here too.
exactly. Who knows what they're going to do with that? I'm
Oh,
guessing.
they're playing. They're gonna
Are they
play
just
that
going to
shit.
have? Are they going to have it in a bubble?
They're gonna figure out a way to play that shit. There's no way they're gonna miss 2 years of revenue on March Madness.
Oh
They're
yeah,
gonna
no
figure out
way.
a way to make it happen. They'll be like, kids get sick, send them out of the bubble. Get them out of here. Get another kid in here.
Get
Make
out
sure
of
they
here.
ain't been quarantined for 2 weeks already. Like, just
It's going to
who
be
knows
like
what's
the
gonna
bench
happen.
warmers. You're going to get like a dude that's been in the NBA. He's like, I'm 20. He's like, I'm 19 or
I
I'm
am
20.
12.
I am. Look legit to me. Go ahead. Go ahead, Junior. Play.
Oh my god. But
But yeah.
anyway, that's pretty much the news. As far as like our bias bubbles, there
Hmm.
was like no Patriot news this week. Pretty much, they were super quiet,
Yeah,
super
you only
quiet.
had really one little bit of news that you heard out of
One
the
little
Patriots camp. And that's
tidbit
old
of
Billy
news.
Belichick.
This is the headline. New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick won't move forward with Presidential Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump. And I
Yep.
love his reasoning behind it. He put out a statement and everything, just talking about the relationships he has with his players, like the conversations they've had all year throughout all these like different like social
Yeah.
justice issues and just everything. And that's what coach. That's what coach, babe. That's
Yeah.
what coach. You know, and like even I think before he and Robert Kraft were tied to being like just friends with him more or less, not necessarily like they just I guess
Yeah.
were friendly at one point. But like apparently Donald Trump's had a lot of friends over the years. Like and nowadays it's not like he's even I don't this isn't political or anything, but
Yeah.
It's nice to see Bill Belichick just be like, you know what? I would just make a conscious decision here. You
Yeah.
know, it's like not a very like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go. Like he did it, and then he also did it for a reason.
Yeah.
How often do you see Bill Belichick putting out statements like this? You know what I mean? It's so I loved it. I
Very
loved it.
rarely.
I loved it.
But yeah,
But that's
I was
really
happy to see
only
that as well.
yeah. That's pretty much the only Patriot news. We had a lot of speculation on free agency as far as signings and people we're going to lose, but there's nothing really set in stone. Our
Hmm.
season's pretty much over, so we don't have any news going forward in 2020 here as far as football. But I'm going to
Yeah.
be definitely keep updating on any type of news that we get coming in here. But as far as the Lakers, doing nice. We just talked about him a little bit.
Yeah.
LeBron's averaging about 24 a game right now. I think he's leading the team. They are 5-0, I think it is 5-0 on the road. So haven't
Damn.
lost a road game yet.
That's
Eight and
wild.
three overall, or 9-3 overall now. But I'm loving it. Pretty much picked up right where they left off last year,
Yeah.
improved because we have better pieces than we used to. Um,
Yeah.
Harrell's doing
You
nice.
have a lot more
Schroeder's doing
depth.
nice. Right, right. It's just it's looking great. Lakers look great in them blue jerseys. I'm loving it. This season,
They do look slick. I
this
like those blue
season's
jerseys.
been great so
I
far.
do like them.
Um, Bearing any type of injuries, we just keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep that number one
Nice.
seed.
That's what's up. I'm gonna have to get you to start following them Bruins a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
Them Boston
100%.
Bruins.
I plan on it. I need to get into it. I need to get more into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, as far as my bias bubble, talk about the Flyers play tomorrow. It will already happen by the time this comes out.
Yeah,
The Bulls, they were looking at being 500, and then they hit the road games. They were on like a 4-game road span, and
yeah.
they won one against Portland, and that was a really good game because I think that was going on when we did our last podcast that night, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. I'm not gonna watch this because we're down by like 20, and then I ended up staying up till like almost 1 and watched the game, and we ended up pulling it out and winning the game.
Yeah, because I got a text from you like 1 in the morning, like, "Yo, we won that game."
I stayed up and watched it. I was like, holy hell. But I mean, they are 4-7 right now, but this team looks a lot better than they did last year.
They do.
They look a lot more disciplined. I mean, the defense is not great.
Cohesive, but they're look, like you said, discipline is a great way to put it.
They're in every game, and that's what I like to see. It like against the Lakers, you guys only beat us by like 3 points or 2 points.
Yeah.
Like and against the Clippers, they only beat us by, it came down to like the last 5 seconds. They beat us by 3 or 4 points. So I mean, they're in these close games with these like tough teams. So I mean, it's like I'm hoping, because apparently the GM and the coach and management, they're looking for this off season after this season. This is going to be the huge off season where tons of big names are free agents.
Yeah.
So I think they're banking on getting a superstar or a really good player this off season to go with Zach LaVine, because Zach LaVine, he's by far the best player on the team.
Still got Kobe White.
Yeah, Kobe White, it looks phenomenal so far this year. He looks great. He just needs to pick and choose his shots a little better. He goes on kind of cold streaks. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he reminds me a lot of D Rose, the way how athletic he is, and he can get to the hoop fast.
How he drives.
But I mean, Zach LaVine, dude, he's like, the other night within a span of 3 games, I saw him hit like multiple daggers close to winning the game, like threes, and I'm like, that's the dude, man.
I was gonna say he's the veteran on that team of young bulls, and he's a young bull, but he's the veteran. He's the seasoned. He has
potential to be an all-star, to be like the next like superstar, and he's so young right now. That's what's
at least crazy. On like a Lowry level, you know, on a Damian Lillard level, maybe. I don't know. Dame's a star, man.
Yeah, Dame's a star.
But I mean, at least like I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, he was like how Jimmy was when he was with us. It's just like each year he gets better and better, and that's what, like, he's got that work ethic.
I miss Jimmy being on the Bulls, man. That shit.
Man,
was nice.
I miss Jimmy on the Bulls so much. But I mean, he fits so well on the Heat right now.
He does.
But God, I fucking miss him on the Bulls.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for Bulls news. Now, Eagles news, on the other hand. Oh my goodness. Doug Peterson's
Mm,
fired. Doug
he's
Peterson's out of
gone.
here.
He's
Gone.
gone.
Howie Roseman hasn't been questioned at all. He's currently looking for his third head coach that he's been involved with hiring, which is unprecedented. Like, not many GMs have been around for 3 head coaches.
Third head coach in 7 years, and you have
Yeah.
a Super Bowl within the 7 years. When
Yeah.
has that ever fucking happened?
Probably never. Like, that's like, it blows my mind.
I
Like, I
just
think I
don't.
said it before we started filming this, was I've been such an up and down opinion on Doug
Since
Peterson
he's
being
been
fired. Because
fired,
like when the
yeah.
news broke, I was like, okay, Doug Peterson's fired. Nice, nice. Like I'm glad. And then I got like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have fired
You're like,
him. Maybe we should have
oh,
waited, gave him another
hey,
year to see what was going on.
who are we gonna hire?
Yeah, because we got nobody in the front office right now. Like no head coach, no defensive
You
coordinator,
got
no
you
coaches.
got Deuce.
Dude, he's definitely in the running for head coach. Jeffrey Lurie said. I'm not sure if I'm sold on him being the head coach.
At
I would
least
like him
offensive coordinator.
exactly. I want to see him as an offensive coordinator because you know he's going to be getting Miles Sanders the ball.
Yeah.
You know Miles Sanders is going to be running that ball.
He knows that team. He knows
Yeah,
that locker room. There was reports about him standing in front of a room commanding all ears and eyes when he
yeah,
talks. That's the
yeah.
type of dude you need in a leadership position in that locker room, a higher position.
Multiple players that have played for the Eagles, Chris Long, Torrey
I think it
Smith,
was Malcolm
uh,
Jenkins' quote that I
Malcolm
read.
Jenkins. Yeah, all three.
Mhm.
Like it's Malcolm Jenkins, Chris Long, Torrey Smith. They've all came out and said Deuce Staley needs to be involved with either the offensive coordinator or head coach
Right.
because he has so much damn respect within that organization and with those
Exactly.
players. Because even
That
though he
locker.
is a running backs coach, he's involved with everybody. Like everybody
Yeah.
talks to, everybody knows him, like and they respect him. But I feel like he should have been promoted last year to like offensive coordinator. They just need to give him his due at this point, I think.
There's a lot of brothers getting consideration for this job. You
Yeah,
got
Eagles are
Todd
requested.
Bowles
I was gonna say Todd Bowles from the defensive coordinator for the Bucks. He's
and
been
Eric
requested.
Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy, and also Robert Saleh is the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. He's being considered.
Okay.
Apparently, he's been respected throughout the league for a while. But it's very interesting to see that some of these options are defensive coordinators that they want as a head coach because usually they look for like an offensive mind to be the
What's
head
the
coach.
dude's name from Oklahoma? I forget his name.
Um,
Head
I was
coach.
gonna
Lincoln
say that
Riley.
Lincoln Riley. If we don't get Eric Bieniemy, I think I want Lincoln Riley, man.
He ain't leaving out. He ain't leaving Oklahoma. He ain't going nowhere. He
Bro,
is a Heisman Trophy producing
I
machine.
feel like
First
he
of
could
all,
be like the next like
all he does
McVay
is
or
pump
what's his name?
quarterbacks out.
LaFleur
No,
and Green Bay. I think he could be the next young
no.
coach to come in, bro.
Let him chill in Oklahoma for a couple more years. He's got another nice young quarterback coming in. Let him breed this one for the
I
NFL.
remember being scared about Dallas might signing this dude last season. Last
Yeah,
offseason.
no, right.
I remember being scared about like they're saying, oh, he was linked to Dallas.
You're right,
Bro,
though.
if we
I
don't
think
get
he's
the
the
enemy
next
from
McVay
Kansas
type.
City, I would like Lincoln Riley, man.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at him as well. I watched a couple things on him.
He's got a good relationship with your front office, apparently. That's what I've been reading. There's a lot of
Exactly.
communication. Lots
Exactly.
over the years.
So
Especially the
the only
Jalen
thing I'm
Hurts
worried
situation.
about is
Goddard, I
I
think.
feel like he's gonna want to have control coming in as a coach. He's like he wants to pick this, and I don't know
And
how much Howie Roseman is gonna want to give him.
Housy's still got nightmares of Chip Kelly, so there's no way he's going to give him any more
Doug
control.
Peterson wanted more control,
He's like,
and look, peace, see ya.
yeah.
And the other one here that they were in contact with is a offensive coordinator for the Titans, Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I saw that as
In
well.
contact
Yep.
with him.
Not a bad
But
idea
yeah,
either.
literally a day after firing Doug Peterson, all these people have been contacted.
He's like,
Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie are playing catch up so fast. And it's like,
cool to see
I don't know.
them immediately immediately there's reports about all these coaches that have been
Yeah.
already contacted or talked to or linked
and
and all this.
the one I'm interested, because I am super interested in Riley and Bieniemy, but Slay, apparently the defensive coordinator for the 49ers, they're saying if he gets the job, he might be bringing some offensive gurus from the 49ers that are on the offensive side. So I mean, their offense has decent plays. It seems like they have decent success whenever they are healthy. So I mean, that's not a bad option. I hope they get someone that is decent and they don't wait till it's too late where they're just left with nobody, because then we're screwed.
Right.
But and also Deuce, I think he should be the OC. I don't think he should be the head coach, but maybe if he's the OC and he does well for a while, I could see it. Doug Peterson, he's been linked to the Jets already because of Joe Douglas as the GM. He used to work with Howie on our team.
Hey,
he used to do
I don't know if anybody
scouting.
could save the Jets, so I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
I think the perfect fit for Doug Peterson would be Detroit. I think Doug Peterson going to Detroit would be a really good option for him. Whether it's with Matt Stafford or somebody else under center. But
even though he's just had all that turmoil with the locker room, he's a more respectable head coach, especially earned the respect than Patricia.
Yeah. He's a very player coach too.
Yeah,
he's very
Patricia
player coach.
Just came in there and tried to be like, it just did not work.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the general consensus was Doug was a player's coach and everybody loved him, but I feel like a lot of the talk was he wasn't hard enough. He wasn't as disciplined on some of the players. That's why
maybe a little bit too soft.
He was a little too soft on the players. That's maybe why Carson regressed a little bit. Maybe Carson just didn't respect him at some point because there was a rift between them. And I mean, we talked about a little bit on the last video that we put out, but it seemed like it was either Carson or Doug, and they decided to move on. So, I mean, I'm fully expecting Carson to be here next season, unless they get some crazy offer for him or Jalen.
It'll be a QB competition, most likely, but Carson's most likely going to win that.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Carson, especially since they're paying him. I would like to see Carson maybe get back to where he was. I would love to see that. As much as I love Jalen Hurts, I'd like to see him play all out.
At least one more season before he could start making some actual moves with the cap there. So
I am not ready to trade Jalen Hurts just because you want to commit to Carson.
You got your own Kyler Murray.
Exactly.
You better chill with that.
And I know that Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are kicking themselves from not getting Russell Wilson back when they could have drafted him.
Yeah.
They're still mad about that.
A lot of people are. I think he went. Where did he go? Mid first, or was it the end of or was it later than that? I
just remember they had a chance to get him and they didn't get him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they don't want to risk losing a star player like that. So I mean, definitely I would say give it one more year. If Carson's even with a new coaching staff, it's just not working out, ship him out to keep Jalen Hurts, man. But there's no way I would let either of them go right now.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Both
because even if Carson Wentz is doing well, say he gets hurt again, knock on wood, boom, Jalen Hurts is there. He can pick up the slack. He's
exactly.
He can ball
with another year of experience underneath his belt.
Yeah,
more and more reps, more and more practice.
Exactly.
More time with the playbook.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, we'll just see where this goes. I mean, I'm not expecting them to hire any of these coaches here anytime soon.
Not directly, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
We'll make another video in the middle of the week if we have a hiring,
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not expecting to see any players being cut or anything like that until the off season at some point. Right. Those kinds of decisions.
Our team's done.
The only news I want to see is Howie Roseman is gone. That's what I want to see, but it ain't gonna happen because I don't know what incriminating evidence this dude has on Jeffrey Lurie, but it must be damn good.
He's got some dirty pictures of him.
Somehow he's removed himself from any conversation of him being fired or any
fired. Where'd you hear that?
accountability for anything, the bad drafts, anything.
Did you see we did this? Did you see we did fired? No,
crazy.
We got rid of Doug Peterson.
Crazy to me.
Jalen Hurts, okay, yeah. But let's move on here.
Yeah, there is only one thing left to do.
Oh, that's it. That's the only thing we got left. That's right.
Yeah. And that is the Crazy Sports Chat to the podcast. And you got one this week.
Yeah, it's not like a crazy one, but it's like interesting at least. Yeah. It's fun. It's like one of those like fun little poke funs at playoff wins since 2017.
Okay.
Russell Wilson, 1. Matt Ryan, 1.
Okay.
Phillip Rivers, 1.
Okay.
Big Ben, 0. Blake Bortles, 2. That's it.
In that one year, whenever they made the run and then they ended up losing to the Patriots.
Yep. But since 2017, he has more playoff victories than Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Matt Ryan, or Phillip Rivers individually.
That's crazy.
I just thought that was very interesting.
Super interesting.
Blake Bortles.
Over all these QBs, I saw something today about Aaron Rodgers has like the best win percentage like in the playoffs. He has like a 90% percent win percentage or something like that. And like that's wild. And I think that's crazy. Only because Tom has been there so many damn times, I'm guessing.
That the percentage starts getting lower.
Yeah,
because,
exactly.
Like, you lose 4 or 5, it looks worse than losing 2 or 3, you know, but he's got 20, 40 wins.
I had to think about it. I was like, wait a minute. Tom's been there so many damn times. I also do have one here. It's I wouldn't say it's super crazy, like what you were saying either. Through 10 games of the NBA season this season so far, Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum have each scored 250 plus points, becoming just the 4th pair of teammates to accomplish that over the last 20 seasons.
Damn.
So both of them have scored at least 250 plus points over 10 games of the first 10 games of the season. Yeah. God, and that's the 4th time it's happened in 20 seasons. And like they're off to a hot start, but I mean the record doesn't show it.
Man. But... Dame is a different animal. That record definitely is not showing it though. They have some figuring out to do as far as going forward here if they want to make the playoffs. But I would love to see Damian Lillard balling in the playoffs again. I hate matching up with them. I was so scared last year, even though they only took 1 game. I was worried. Portland keeps me up at night. Damian Lillard does more or less, not Portland, but Damian Lillard.
So clutch, dude. Just shooting from the logo whenever he wants.
Just give him a chance, and that's all he needs. And that's scary. But
yeah, man, that's the podcast for the week. Make sure you like and subscribe.
Please.
Make sure to check us out on Twitter at Squad Pod Sports. Check us out on Squad Nights every Monday. This show, Squad Pod Sports, every Thursday, and the regular Squad Pod on Fridays. We're going to be releasing some new videos here, hopefully soon as well. We'll be doing some breaking news updates like we did with the Doug Peterson story.
Right.
Whenever something crazy happens. And we'll also be starting to do some reviews for the other podcasts, like movies or music reviews and stuff like that. So keep your eyes open for that kind of stuff. And
a lot of stuff going on. 2021 should be packed with a bunch of content. So let's keep it rolling.
Exactly. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace out.